She showed up like she didn't care, and now she's stealing the show in Creature Commandos. Hey everyone! The bride is one of the characters with a deep and harsh backstory in Creature Commandos, and even though she's Frankenstein's bride, her character has some differences from the original story and even from the comics. Want to know what those differences are? Do you know how the bride came to be? Stick around, and I'll tell you everything. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. The bride turned out to be one of the big surprises of this new DC animation that kicks off the DCU. Right off the bat, one thing that sets her apart from the original version is that in Creature Commandos, she's an independent character. She doesn't accept Frankenstein as her husband, and in the comics, their relationship is even more different. If you're a DC fan, want to see more videos like this, and stay in the loop with everything happening in the new DCU, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I'm gearing up to bring more videos about character histories from this new animation, and if you want to catch all of it, you need to be subscribed to get alerts as soon as the videos are up. Your likes and subscriptions help us out a ton, and you can repay us this way while staying updated. This is the best place to keep informed about DC. Thanks a lot, and let's dive into the video. Known as the Bride of Frankenstein in the main Earth or simply the Bride in the DCU, she's a feisty zombie with combat skills, advanced firearms expertise, and superhuman strength and agility. Created by Mary Shelley, Grant Morrison, and Doug Mahnke, her first appearance was in Frankenstein, Agent of Shade No. 1. Unlike what we see in Creature Commandos, in the comics, the bride and Frankenstein had a loving relationship and tried to create a child through Shade's technology. However, their child was highly unstable and violent, attacking the bride and forcing Frankenstein to kill him. Despite what her son did, the bride saw that he was terrified of the situation and didn't forgive Frankenstein for his actions. In modern times, the bride and Frankenstein soon found out that after a rebellion in Shade, Father Time revealed that their son was actually alive and held by Shade without their knowledge. The bride and Frankenstein followed their son to his birthplace, Frankenstein Castle, where they tried to talk it out. Unfortunately, the creature attacked and pleaded only for death. And what was the bride's reaction? In a sad twist of irony, she granted her son's wish and took his life. After that, fed up with the lies and manipulation Shade built around them, especially regarding their son, the bride left the organization. In James Gunn's DCU, the character makes her debut in the Creature Commandos series. Feeling lonely, Frankenstein forced Dr. Victor Frankenstein to create a bride to be his romantic partner, but when the bride is brought to life, she freaks out at the sight of Frankenstein and doesn't want him near her, which really pisses him off. Dr. Victor Frankenstein teaches the bride to speak and adopt human customs, and bit by bit, they start to get closer, eventually developing a romantic relationship. When Frankenstein finds out, he becomes jealous and enraged. He kills the doctor for getting in the way of him and the bride, thinking that now that she doesn't have the doctor around, they can finally be together. But when the bride sees what the monster did, she rejects him even more. Still, he doesn't give up and chases her for generations, hoping to win her back, but with every attempt, she turns him down, all the way to modern times. After spending most of her life evading the obsessed Eric Frankenstein, she was captured by the US government for being considered a threat to humanity and was recruited by Amanda Waller for Task Force M, under the command of Rick Flag Sr. The bride had an entire episode dedicated to her in Creature Commandos, where her past was revealed through flashbacks, and she fought Circe, a sorceress from Wonder Woman's Rogues Gallery. The fight was pretty cool, but it stirred up some controversy among fans, since the bride basically held her own against Circe in physical combat, but Circe won when she started using her magic. During episode 4 of Creature Commandos, Rick Flag Sr. refused Amanda Waller's orders to kill Princess Ilana, as Waller was convinced by Circe, through her vision, that Ilana was responsible for the end of the world and the deaths of all the heroes. Since Flag had a relationship with Ilana, he rejected that order, and none other than the bride stepped up to lead the Creature Commandos. In the animation, the bride was created in Pokalistan, and her skills are pretty similar to those in the comics. In the show, we see that besides being strong with fighting and shooting skills, she makes huge jumps, kind of like the Hulk, though I'd say on a smaller scale, and she can regenerate, since in episode 2 she got pretty banged up, but by the start of episode 3, she was all good when her team members came to rescue her. The bride ended up being one of the most interesting characters in Creature Commandos, and besides the flashbacks of her past, practically all her dialogues, personality, and action scenes steal the show when she's on screen. She's definitely got a unique vibe, but now I want to hear what you think. Do you agree with me? Did you know the Bride story? What do you think about how she was adapted in the DCU? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button on the video, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications to stay updated on everything happening in Marvel and DC. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.